Jesse asked here on Facebook Live, Pastor Steve, who are the 24 elders in Revelation chapter 6?
You're talking about Revelation chapter 5, actually chapter 4 and 5 is where those guys are listed as the 24 elders. I don't think that they're mentioned in chapter 6. They're mentioned throughout the rest of the book of Revelation. But here's your options with those things, with the 24 elders. When it goes through and it talks about these guys, in chapter 4, it says, around the throne were 24 thrones, and on the thrones I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white robes, and they had crowns of gold on their heads. And then it goes on, and at the end of the passage, it says in verse 10, the 24 elders fall down before him who sits on the throne and worship him who lives forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, you are worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power. When you go to chapter 5 of Revelation, there is a song that these guys are singing, and in verse 9, it says, they sang a new song saying, you are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, for you were slain and have redeemed us to God by your blood out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and have made us kings and priests to our God, and we shall reign on the earth. Okay? And so when you see these guys described, they're described as sitting on thrones, clothed in white, having crowns on their heads, that they take and throw at the feet of the Lord, saying that he's the one who's worthy of the honor. And then it says in the song that these guys sing that they have been redeemed to God by the blood of Jesus, that they've come out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and they've been made kings and priests to God, and that they are people who are going to reign on the earth. The options that people usually give for the 24 elders, sometimes they go, okay, well maybe it's 12 from the tribes of Israel. So you know the 12 tribes of Israel, and maybe it's the 12 apostles, okay? And so that is an option. That's one option that you could take there. One of the problems with that option is that one of the 12 apostles is the guy seeing the revelation. He's seeing the 24 elders. And so is John seeing John sitting on the throne. And so I kind of think that would be in the passage, if that was the case. And so you have that. There is a passage where 24 is mentioned in the Bible. When I'm interpreting a passage, I like to take something that the Bible actually states about the subject matter. So the only place where the Bible lists out 24, in a group of people is in 2 Chronicles chapter 24, which is convenient, 24 in chapter 24. And that is the courses of the priesthood. David, when he was getting ready to build Solomon's temple for his son, he divided the priesthood into 24 parts, and these priests would come in and minister a couple of weeks every year in the temple, in the tabernacle before the temple. And those 24 courses of the priesthood represented the whole priesthood. They had elders. When those elders got together, the 24 elders represented the whole priesthood itself. And so you have, that's familiar to you if you read the book of Luke, and you know that Zacharias, the father of John the Baptist, was from the course of Abijah. That's one of the 24 courses, or one of 24 groups of priests that you have there. So a Jew reading the book of Revelation, and it's a Jewish book, Jew reading the book of Revelation, reading about 24 elders would immediately go priesthood. That's what they would be thinking. The other thing that you have is thrones, and the one who sits on thrones are kings. Kings sit on thrones. And so now you have kings and priests, which is exactly what they define themselves as in that song in chapter 5, kings and priests. You have them in white clothing. And later on in the book of Revelation, in chapter 19, it says that the white robes are the righteous acts of the saints. This is a purity that's been given to them by Jesus himself. And then they're crowned. And the word for crown there is not diadema in Greek, it's the word stephanos in Greek, which is a victor's crown. It's a crown that you get for performance in a sports event, for example, or in military exploits. And so that's a Stephanos. And so these guys are crowned for their works. And so when you go through that description, kings and priests washed in with their robes washed white, with rewards, crowns as rewards on their heads. That's the church. And that's specifically the church. The church is the only group of people in the Bible that are called kingdom of priests or kings and priests. That was offered to Israel in the Old Testament, and they declined the offer. It was given to the church in the New Testament. And so I believe that the 24 elders represents the church as a whole. And I don't know specifically who each one of the elders are, but I do think that that is representative of the church as a whole. So, long answer for a short question, sorry.
Yeah, thanks for posting, Jesse. Hope that answers your question.